Good morning. It's about 5 a.m. So I'm going to throw together a rub. Do some pork roast, do Cornish game hen. We're going to do them on the smoker. And this isn't an exact recipe, but this is how I do it. So let's do it. 2 cups of brown sugar. I like using dark brown sugar. It's got a little more molasses in it. Adds a little bit more of a kind of a barbecue flavor, I think. I got half a cup of seasoning salt. I like using seasoning salt because it's got a lot of the stuff here you need in it. We just add a little bit of paprika. Smoke from the wood will really add to that, make it taste good. And chili powder, if it'll come out. Garlic powder, that should be good. That's just a guessing game. I don't do exact measurements all the time, but it always turns out good for me, so oh well, just keep doing it this way. And then just a little bit, very carefully now, a little bit of cayenne pepper. Don't want to overdo it. Then you're just going to end up with a spicy roast, but it is nice to have that little bit of a kick added to it. Alright, I just kind of mix it together. Alright, well, we got one of our pork ribeye roasts here out of the package, patted dry. Now I'm just going to generously coat it with a layer of our rub, which smells like barbecue, so that's how I know I got it right. And then we'll put it in some plastic wrap, and we're going to put it in the fridge for a few hours, just to let those flavors permeate the meat. Alright, here we got 2 rubbed down roasts, wrapped in plastic, and now they're going to sit for a while. You can either do it 4 hours, or even if you want to, you can do it the night before, have it sit overnight. I'm just going to do it like 5-6 hours before I even start the smoker, so that should be plenty of time. The brown sugar is just going to help with the smoke flavor, because without something sweet in it, you're going to just have a real bitter piece of meat if it just tastes like smoke. Since we got these done, we'll move on to the Cornish game hens now. Alright, got a couple of Cornish game hens now. Got them patted dry. I'll just cover them with the rest of our rub here. And get them wrapped up. And that'll be that. There we go. I got 2 rubbed down Cornish game hens wrapped up. Same deal. They're going to go in the fridge for a while. And then later, once we got the smoker going, it's going to be time to smoke them. Alright, got my smoker set up. I got my coals in there. Some newspaper at the bottom. I got both vents open. So I'll light this and get her preheated. Alright, got her preheated. Now we're going to use some cherry wood. About that. Coals are pretty good. I'm just going to throw these right on top of the rack here. So those will start smoldering, and then we'll get the meat on. Alright. Got my heat going. I can smell the smoke. Got the birds on. And then we got the ribeye roast fat side up. So now it's just a matter of letting her go for, I'll probably go for 2 hours, and then we'll check them. Gotta try to maintain a temp between 225 and 250 or so. So we'll see how it goes. A lot of excitement. Took all the meat off the smoker. Didn't even think about showing you the finished product on the smoker. But got them in the house now. Got this one sitting out resting. Let it soak back up all its juices, and it's got a nice bark on it. Looks juicy. Can't wait to tear into it. Here's one of the Cornish game hens. Turned out real good. It's got a nice, crust on the skin. We're gonna let this one rest for a while too. I did both the roasts and the Cornish game hens at between 250 and 275 for not quite 3 hours. Obviously, you want to use a meat thermometer and make sure that they're to the right temperature. I believe the Cornish game hens, they got to be up to 165, where the pork can be as low as 145 or so. I don't like overcooking. I like keeping it a little pink on the meat, so that's just the way I am. I also use cherry wood too, but you don't have to use cherry wood. I like it because I like the way meat tastes, so cherry wood keeps it kind of mild. It's not super smoky. It's still got that smoky flavor, but it's not overpowering. If you wanted to really taste smoke, use something like mesquite or hickory, but I only really use those woods for something like beef, like if I'm going to do a brisket or something like that. But usually with pork and chicken, I stick with cherry wood because it's just more subtle. Get to taste the meat more. Alright, for one of these roasts, I'm going to shred it, make it into like a pulled pork for like sandwiches and stuff, and I'm actually going to mix it a little bit of barbecue sauce and a little bit more brown sugar into it after I shred it, and then I'll lay it out on a baking sheet or something, and make like kind of barbecue pulled pork sandwiches. And then the other roast, I'll probably just slice it into, like roast meat. And then after that, we'll cut into the chickens and see how those turned out. Alright, I got my pork pulled apart. Now I'm going to add a little bit of brown sugar and a little bit of spicy barbecue sauce to coat it out, and then we'll put it in the oven and give it a little glaze. Alright, threw in just like a little handful of brown sugar and some of that spicy barbecue sauce, Texas style barbecue sauce, and got it coated, just lightly coated, not overdoing it. And I'll dump it in a pan and we'll broil her. Alright, broiled her for a little bit. I'm going to just flip her and throw it in the broiler for a little bit, just get a glaze on the bottom side too. Alright, tore into one of these. Tried a couple of bits, tried a little bit of the skin. It's really good. Really smoky. In a good way though, not overpowering. Just nice, subtle smoke flavor. The skin is delicious on these. The rest of it tastes like chicken. Not too exciting, but the skin is really good. A little inside view of the little chicken here. Yeah, these are really, they're really tiny. The meat just pulls apart. It's real tender, it's real juicy. Never done one of these before, but I'd say it turned out pretty dang good. Really good skin. Meat's real juicy. Not bad. And this turned out really good. This is just juicy, it's tender, pulls apart. It's got a nice glaze on it, so I'm going to try this out in sandwich form, see what it's like. Before I put this in bread and start eating it, I'm going to try a little sample here. Yep. That's good. Got a little spiciness to it, but it's sweet and smoky. It's juicy. It's tender. It's exactly how you want it to turn out. So, I think job well done. Alright. Put a little bit, just a plain old slice of bread. Put a little cheese on top, let it melt. Oh, try this out here. Mmm. Yep. It's about as good as it gets. So I think next time I'll probably do a pork belly. If I'm feeling really ambitious, I'll do a brisket, but that's pretty time consuming, so maybe when the weather's a little nicer, I'm gonna pick out of this pan and eat for a while because it's kind of addictive. So take it easy, guys.